Adjusting your electrolarynx is an easy task. If you take a few minutes to adjust it just for you, then you'll have even better results and you'll be happier with your voice. I'm going to start with adjusting the solatone electrolarynx because it has the most basic controls, and the adjustments also apply to the Truetone electrolarynx. The solatone electrolarynx has three basic adjustments. The first one is the sound head cap right here. This is the gap between the sound head cap and the body. The second one is the volume control right here. And the third one is the pitch control. This controls the tone at which you speak. If you press the button, the volume controls how loud the buzzing will be, and the pitch control adjusts the tone at which that buzzing will be. When you're adjusting your solatone electrolarynx, start out by adjusting the tone to a pitch that is comfortable for your voice. Think of how you would like your voice to sound. If you were to say ah, that's going to be the tone that comes out of your mouth when you press the button with the instrument up against your neck. To adjust the tone, it's a very simple screw adjustment. Remove the battery cap, and the adjustment is right here next to the battery contacts. There are three ways that you can adjust this. The simplest way is to just take the screwdriver and turn the screw. You'll see right now that the screw is pointing over approximately to the 11 o'clock position. If I turn the screw counterclockwise, the tone gets higher. You'll notice there's a higher tone. If I adjust the screw clockwise, for instance to the 1 o'clock position, the tone will be lower. Many people prefer to be able to hear the instrument while they make adjustments. This makes it much easier to achieve the tone that you desire. What I like to do is I hold my thumb on the power button so I can hold the battery in the instrument with my index finger. This allows me to reach the tone adjustment screw while I press the button and listen to the tone. Your speech pathologist may have a demo instrument, in which case they should have what we call the access cap. This allows them to place the battery into the instrument You turn the access cap till you can see the adjustment inside. Now, you don't have to hold the battery with your finger. You simply place the screwdriver in the slot. One thing to keep in mind is that the adjustment does not have a stop. That means that if you keep turning higher and higher, it's going to suddenly jump low. If you want to go back, you just simply reverse, or you can continue in the direction you were going. There isn't a stop in the instrument, that way you can't break the adjustment. It just keeps turning. The crossover from high to low is at approximately 7 o'clock. If you find that you're making a small change and hearing a very large jump in tone change, reverse direction of your adjustment, or you can make a half-turn adjustment and start from there. I'll demonstrate that now. You hear I have a very high tone right now. If I make a small change, now it's extremely low. You can either reverse the direction you're turning the screw, or give it a half turn and start from there. Once you have the tone set, you can adjust the sound head body gap to match the preferences for your tonal qualities. This is done simply by turning the cap that's on the instrument. It's the cap with the end that goes against your neck when you speak. If you hear, I've got a moderately low tone right now. If the cap is too tight, you get a muffled sound. Most people who prefer a lower tone should have a gap that's approximately 1 millimeter, or the thickness of a US dime. With a 1 mm gap, the instrument sounds good. If you increase the gap, it still sounds good, but it may provide a different tonal quality that you prefer. Adjusting the volume is simply done with the wheel on the side of the instrument. Towards the button is louder. Away from the button is quieter. If you want to get maximum life out of your battery, you can turn the volume down and then decrease the sound head body gap. You'll notice that the volume is almost the same as at full volume with a larger gap. This allows your battery to last much longer at only the expense of a slight volume change. As you can see, with the lower tones, the larger gap sounds good. For people who prefer a higher voice tone, typically a smaller gap is preferred. You'll notice that the instrument is a little bit quieter, but if I tighten the sound head down just a little bit, it gets louder. Now, if you increase the volume, the instrument gets louder. If you wish, you can leave it there, or you can loosen the cap up and increase the volume even more. This allows you the flexibility to set the instrument to where you most commonly use it, and then occasionally adjust it for different situations. These three settings combined give you the flexibility to create the voice that you want that matches your personality and needs. The Truetone electrolarynx is a very simple device to use, but it does vary from other instruments such as the solatone electrolarynx. The unique feature about the Truetone electrolarynx is the pressure-sensitive button. The button allows you to change the tone of your voice while you're talking, simply by applying a different pressure to the button. The other adjustments on the Truetone electrolarynx are the same as those on the solatone electrolarynx. There is an additional adjustment though for the button sensitivity. You may use the Truetone electrolarynx as it is adjusted from the factory, or you may adjust this to meet your personal needs and dexterity. Most people sound best with a moderate tone range in the button. This allows them to add slight intonation or inflection to their sentences, to each word or individual syllable, which is oftentimes applied without even consciously attempting to. Some people with great dexterity can add a high tone range and really express their emotions. For those who desire the high quality and warranty features of the Truetone electrolarynx but still want a monotone device, they can turn the tone range down so that it is virtually a monotone instrument. The adjustments for the Truetone electrolarynx are inside as well. The silver adjustment is the bass tone, just as it is on the solatone electrolarynx. Just remember, the silver screw adjusts the tone for when you press the button softly. The red screw adjusts the range of the sensor. So silver is for soft and red is for range. I'll demonstrate that now. If I press the button soft, I can adjust the silver screw and hear the changes. Now you can hear the range from here. If I want to increase the range, I can adjust the red screw. You'll notice that the pitch went up slightly, so after adjusting the range, you may want to readjust the bass tone. The range adjustment screw also has no stop, so it does have a step in it. You can adjust this by ear if you wish, by pressing the button firmly and listening to the tone change as you turn the screw. Essentially, the silver screw, as I said, is for when you press the button soft. That you could also consider that as the lowest tone available. The red screw is the range of the button. That controls the highest tone available. Most people who prefer a low voice will be fine with the instrument adjusted the way it comes from the factory. If you wish to increase or decrease the sensitivity of the button, you simply adjust the red screw. Again, the crossover point is at approximately 7 o'clock when you hold the instrument so you can view the serial number. Towards the right, or closer to 6 o'clock, is the lowest tone range available. Point the arrow to 6 o'clock, you'll have a virtually monotone instrument. I'll demonstrate that now. You'll notice that there is a very slight change in tone. Most people who are not attempting to achieve tone change will never notice that there is an adjustment there. To receive a moderate tone range on your button, point the screw up towards 12 o'clock. This will allow you to emphasize certain words and syllables while still maintaining a relatively steady tone for normal speech. If you have greater dexterity and you want more control over your tone, you can adjust the screw so that it's closer to 9 o'clock or even perhaps 8.
Hello. Thank you for coming.
The same sound head body gap adjustments that apply to the Solatone electrolarynx also apply to the Truetone. A lower tone typically requires a larger gap. A higher tone typically requires a smaller gap. If you've adjusted your Truetone electrolarynx so that it has a wide tone range with the button, you may find that the higher tones sound better with a slightly smaller gap. These are adjustments that you make to the Truetone electrolarynx to make the sound uniquely your voice. Your Truetone electrolarynx may have also included an extra sound head cap. The purpose of this extra cap is to give you even more options when personalizing your voice. The sound head cap with the gray sound button should provide a louder voice and penetrate hard fibrotic tissue with greater volume. The black sound head button will provide a smoother, more pleasant sound. Most people will prefer the black sound button, but if you have hard neck tissue or you work in an environment that requires extra volume, the gray sound button may be preferred. To install the extra cap, simply screw it off the body and place the new cap back on, paying attention to the sound head body gap.